There are some good news and bad news about Turkiye, and I'm going to analyze a few things today for you to have a better understanding of what strategy you can employ in your situation. The first news is about the real estate, and the first quarter of 2025 set a record in sales of flats, properties in Turkey. And Antalya is also included. That means that the market is actually breathing pretty well. It's not the prices that going up, it is the number of sales which is happening right now. I think in a little while, if all goes well, if all goes in the direction set where the interest rates are going to be declining, if they decline, I think the prices will start going up if demand continues to persist. That is probably the best news I've heard in a while. The exchange rate for Turkish lira versus major currencies for past 2-3 weeks seem to be pretty stable. It's right around 38, the official rate. And that supports the statement which Turkish government made that they're going to continue with their policy of slow, gradual devaluation. I think after the protests which happened in Turkey, quite a few people were scared and Turkish lira actually jumped. Now the government is holding it pretty steady, and I think it's going to hold it for a little while until the confidence for the players in the market returns. I'm thinking probably for another month or so it will be jittering right around 38. That's my point of view. And there are still pretty good interest rates if you put your money, if you have any Turkish lira, if you put it into a bank, you can get pretty decent interest rate on that. And you don't really have to do much for that. All you have to do is just open an account, put it in there, and every month they will drop the interest into your account. So Turkish lira, in my view, is not a bad place to be if that's the income which you're receiving in Turkish lira. Speaking of real estate further, there are lots of constructions going on in Antalya, and some people asking me where can I speculate, where I can take a little bit more risk and perhaps get some rewards, because there are people who come and they want to get Turkish citizenship. Many people say that it's not worth it, etc. I'm not going to argue whether it's worth it or not. It is a personal preference. It is a personal need for some people to get Turkish citizenship. And what you can do now, which is you couldn't do before, you can buy certain properties at discount and pay less than $400,000, which is required to receive Turkish citizenship. Now you can actually pay less because there are some properties and you have to hunt it. I'm not going to give it to you right here in this video. There are properties, let's say the flats. Every flat in that building is selling for certain price. Let's say 450,000, 400,000. Then you have some kind of seller who is distressed and he needs to dump his property quickly, get the cash and plug some kind of hole in his budget. He may actually sell it to you for less, maybe 370, maybe 350, but your valuation and many other things will still support this value of 400,000. You have to do it with the licensed agent who knows how to do it, how to properly package your documents and submit it to the government. But those kind of cases already happening. I've heard it from several people who did it. And I cannot prove it to you. I basically sell it to you for what I bought. But you can do it. As far as speculating, and when I'm saying speculating, is it's not a bad thing. There is a district right now in Antalya called Altıntaş. It's right by the airport. There is lots of construction going there. There are lots of buildings erected. Some of the buildings are pretty good and construction is really decent and the layout is nice. What I see is there are people who come and they purchase 5-10 flats right away. Some of them with the purpose of getting citizenship, some of the purpose for the purpose of investment. You can do it. If you have the money, if you want to come to Turkey and that's your intention, you want to speculate, you're a real estate speculator, some people call it investors, Altintaş is the place you want to look at, and you can talk to some real estate agents. I actually have a real estate agent you can talk to. I had an interview with him a few videos ago. If you need somebody who speaks somewhat English or some English, you can talk to him. There are other real estate agents who speak English. There aren't that many of them, and I'm not one of them. I'm not even a real estate agent at all. I'm just pointing you in the right direction, just like, I'm telling you where the gold is, and now you have to go and dig it. Remember, you can subscribe, you can leave some comments, or you can leave some likes, and I will answer your questions if you have any questions. Share this video with somebody who may benefit from that. I'm Vas, welcome to my channel. The next news is number of foreigners who live in Turkey is declining. And that means people are moving out. The time when it was really easy to obtain residency is gone. Now you have to purchase property, and that property has to be of $200,000 or more in order to receive a residency. And that residency you can update every 2 years and continue living there, provided that you have that property in your possession. Also, that property has to be purchased in open mahallesi. There are some places, there are some micro districts, which in Turkey called mahallesi. Some of them are closed for foreigners, some of them are open. The ones which are closed already exceeded the quarter of foreigners who can live there. The government doesn't want people to make a ghetto, foreign ghetto in any particular place. They want people to spread, and that is, I think, they did not declare it, but I think that is the intention. I think this is a good intention. So you don't have this kind of a national set places where a bunch of foreigners live, like in New York. I mean, if you are in New York and that's how you live, that's okay. That's an old way of doing that, and maybe some people really like it. Apparently, for Turkey, it's not acceptable. As far as the rent in Antalya and in Turkey, there is a big news, which is the prices of the rent declined by 0.2%. Honestly saying, it is fact, you cannot deny it, but in my view, 0.2% decline in price of a rent, that's more like a noise. It could happen going up or down and all around. That is not, it basically telling me that the rent is not declining. It's pretty much set where it was, and it continues to be there. If you want to come and rent a flat and apply for residency, there is a touristic residency, and it is given. It's not given as freely as it used to be in past years. Now it's pretty tight, and there are more hoops you have to go through. You have to declare your income, you have to prove your income, that you're going to be living in Turkey, of some other income from some other countries. Turkey in these days is more set on collecting taxes. It used to be that there was a lot of gray economy. It's not like people doing something criminal, but they're not declaring income. They are receiving income from sources, and they're not declaring, so they're not paying taxes. That's what I call gray economy. The government is going after those sources more and more. I actually hear the news left and right, people who rent their flats, their properties to somebody else, they're getting fined, government is checking it. And if you are thinking about this idea, which is very popular in many countries, where you buy property and you rent it out, and obviously if you rent it in the short term, you can maximize your income from that. In Turkey, if you want to rent short term, which is 100 days or less, then you have to get some permission, license, register, all sorts of things. There are more hoops for short rent than for long rent. The problem right now is that lots of people already know Turkey is expensive. And I can tell you, because I'm comparing to some other countries, and retail prices, tourist locations, clothes. You can buy Turkish-made clothes in other countries. I actually travel right now in Central Asia and I see that. You can buy it for 30% less, 50% less than you would buy it in Turkey in stores. You can go to the markets, you can go to bazaars, and you can find clothes there very cheaply. If you go to stores, to malls in Turkey, it's not cheap at all. And the same brands available in other countries for a fraction of a price. People who live in those countries, they know they can go to Turkey for the sun, for warm weather, for the sea. Going to the malls and buying the clothes is no longer attraction for them. And that is the case of today.